Greetings and good day, YouTube. How are you doing today? I myself am pretty excited to continue where we last left off in Minecraft. Before we do that, I realized I wasn't going to make an adjustment on the music not showing, but I kind of have to do that in order to know if anything gets muted, if I have to set that up. Give me 1 second to set this up. Anyways, while I do this, I'll say I watched the Summer's Games Fest, most of it, not all of it. And I didn't watch the Xbox thing off stream. Like, I didn't watch either of those on stream this year. Main reason was because Jeff Keighley was like, yeah, don't expect a lot from this year's Summer's Games Fest. And they were right. There was a couple things that were interesting. Like, we got a little bit of a tease at a couple of games. And I kind of got aggravated because, yeah, I was hype as shit when I first saw Metal Gear Solid Delta, right? I have a reaction thing of it out there. But the more that time has passed, the more that I've realized they didn't really show anything. Just like with the thing that released recently, they haven't really shown anything. And now you might be confused because, like, they show a whole new, like, trailer, and it's like, not really. I think it's the same exact trailer that came out when Metal Gear Solid 3 was first announced back in whenever the fuck it was. Anyways, I did not play any of this game off stream like I meant to either, which, as unfortunate as that is, that happens sometimes. I felt like little motivation to play any game really this last couple of days, and anytime that happens, it's because I'm like fighting off some kind of a sickness. And I'll be honest, I probably am because I barely felt like going live today, and I was like, you know what? It's Monday. It's the last day. I normally do my little update on Monday when I'm playing Minecraft or something like that. So I thought, screw it, we might as well go for it. I am waiting for bees to come out so I could actually breed some more bees. That's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to breed bees. I almost feel like the glass is a little bit too short. Like one more high, maybe. But I'll worry about doing that later. I'm not worried about it now. There we go. We've got 2. I need 2 to pop out. I'll wait patiently, I don't mind. See, here's the thing. Screw it. I'll worry about it later. We should be fine. Realistically, if we do lose the bees, we can recover. It'll be annoying for me to do it, but we should not really lose the bees as they are right now. We have it set up properly to not be that detrimental. Why is it that you have less than you? Yeah, whatever. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm going to be recovering all of the stuff here. Boop. Boop. Anyways, I'll get into what the meat of today's stream is primarily about right now. So, this week, what have we done? Primarily, we only played Elden Ring. I think we did play a little bit of Lost Light on stream, but I'm not sure exactly when we did that. I know that I've kind of had a couple of short streams over the past couple of weekends, which I always dislike, because I do love streaming, but there are some days where it's just like today is one of those days where I'm just like, meh. So it's probably going to be a short one today. I say this knowing it could be wrong. Yesterday I went a little bit longer than I thought I would, in all honesty. Anyways. So, So, given that information, I thought about possibly playing more Elden Ring off stream, but again, just not in the mood to really play many games. Maybe I'll be in the mood to play some games off stream, and I will. But, do I have any great, like, I'm trying to think if I have any great plans. I really don't. Honestly, what I have been doing since I've been not feeling well, I've just been lazing about, laying down, reading. And I've been reading Elden Ring fanfictions, actually. For the most part. It's kind of surprising how unique some of the stories can be. I've been enjoying it. Outside of that, next week on Friday, more of the same Elden Ring. I was thinking about playing Fallout as well, but I think that's just too much. I think 2 main games for me is too much for me personally to have. What am I doing? Like, what should I be doing right now? We've pretty much done what we needed to do here, but we cannot organize, so I'll do the organization while we talk. Hold up, let me pull up my thing first. There we go. Lots of arrows, love that. See, this was pretty useful, don't get me wrong. But over time, it became more strenuous to keep going because apparently going up was the incorrect thing to do. I'm trying to go down the list in order to, like, slowly get the most useful shit and then go from there. I'll probably leave that there, actually, now that I think about it. Redstone I'll take. We must have killed a bunch of witches because of how much redstone we've gotten. Same for glowstone. Anyways, so more than likely it'll be Elden Ring, and that will lead into probably Lost Light, or maybe Enlisted. I'm enjoying Lost Light, but I'm kind of at that moment where I'm waiting for the newer season to pop out, because I don't really have much else to do there, except just to have fun playing the game. And I do have fun playing the game, but I'll do a couple of runs here and there. We'll see. Regardless of that, topics to talk about range from... I read an article about how a dude caught a 123-pound flathead catfish on 12-pound test. They were using a Zepco 33 reel, and they fucking landed that big-ass catfish. Hell of a fight it had to have been, right? Now, there might be some thoughts for those that aren't experienced as fisher, like in the fishing line or whatever, and all that. The most I could say easily enough is that don't let what the weight of the line says fool you. Yeah, that catfish could have snapped the line, but a lot of it is how you fight a fish, right? Because the idea behind it is that if over 12 pounds of force is used, then the line should break. And you would think that a fish that is 123 pounds would have a lot of force to break that line. Not necessarily, right? A fish like that, you basically just have to let it wear itself out. It's kind of like how when people go deep sea fishing, if they catch a marlin or something like that, they're fighting with the fish for several hours before they actually land the thing. 123 pounds on 12-pound test. Also, greetings and good day, Insane Baboon. How are you doing today? But yeah, that might not seem like that makes sense, but the main reason that it makes sense is because the person didn't try and force the fish out of the water or anything like that on that line, or it would have snapped the line easy. I've not caught fish that large, but I have caught, like, using 4-pound tests, I've caught a 20-pound fish before. It's a hell of a fight. And that's basically all you gotta do is just let the fish wear itself out. When it wants to run, you let it run. Obviously, if it runs too far, there's really not much you can do to stop it. But most of the time, they are freaking the fuck out because they have something bit them back, basically. And you go from there. Now, as for Summer Games Fest, it was a flathead catfish. Oh, and here's what they were using. They were using a bobber with a jig and what was it? It was jig and... Oh, it was just a bobber with a jig head. They didn't say what kind of bait they were using. Probably worms or something like that. But long story short, normally you would use something else instead of a jig head on a bobber. They were just pan fishing. That's the type of fishing they were doing was basically just pan fishing. They're trying to catch things like bluegill, crappie, perch, stuff like that. Sunfish, maybe. Anyways, I was entertained by that idea that they got. That was a hell of a surprise, I bet, you know? They set the hook when their bobber goes down, and it ain't a fucking panfish. And you could tell. If you have experience fishing, you could really easily tell. Even if you don't have experience, you can tell that certain fish are a certain way. And ironically enough, the 20-pound catfish that I'm talking about, I was doing something similar. Pan fishing. I wasn't using that exact setup, but I was using a bobber. As for the Summer Games Fest, it opened up with something about Lego Horizon. I just didn't find any interest really in a lot of the stuff that was there, because a lot of the games were games that I just don't have interest in. Also, they showed like No Room in Hell 2, Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. I also had a thought, I wonder if people are going to be hyped for that game or if they're going to try and boycott it like they did the other one. Cuff Bust, a single person made it. It looks interesting. They showed off Star Wars Outlaw, which I have no interest in because fuck Ubisoft. But they did show like a bunch of little things they hinted at. No real gameplay I saw yet of it, but I've seen a lot of things that hint at a very interesting game, in all honesty. If it was made by a different development company or wasn't made so shittily, I would be very interested in the game. But I'm not going to spend my own money to get it. So, there we are with that. Neva. They showed Neva again. I think they showed Neva again, if I'm not mistaken what that was. That was like the side-scrolling battling one.
Okay, true stories from Huntington with Jen and Mindy.
Metroidvania. No, that was a different one. They showed Civilization 7, Wukong Black Myth in August. No gameplay. They showed some more VR bullshit. Once Human. The most exciting thing for me was Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 they showed off.
Get more than money from your bank. Welcome to Huntington.
Some Metamorph Persona-looking new IP RPG game. A new Batman Arkham game. Arkham Shadow. And I was so excited for it until I heard it's a MetaQuest exclusive. They making a new fucking Batman game, and it's a MetaQuest exclusive. The Rat King. I'm glad I'm not interested in that one. Like, I was like, oh, cool, a new Batman game. That'll be cool. And then it's like, oh, it's a MetaQuest exclusive. The fuck is wrong with you? Making a game like that exclusive to VR. VR, is anyone really interested in VR? Truly. I'm not asking that because I'm, like, being a dickhead. I'm being truthful with my statement. Or my question, I should say. does anyone actually find interest in VR? Like, I've done some VR chat before, and that's pretty neat. But like, I feel like VR games can really only be something like VR chat. Mind you, Alyx is one of, like, hailed as one of the best VR games ever, from what I've heard. But that's not really saying much to somebody like me, because I don't really have a lot of experience with people that are really into VR. Like, it still feels gimmicky, in all honesty. What else do we got? Dragon Ball Sparking Zero got a release date. Delta Force Hawk Ops, free to play, extraction mode. They showed a little bit of that, which I'm interested in, because it's extraction shooter. It's not out yet. I'm hopeful for its potential too, but like, again, it's one of those things where, that makes more sense. It's not that it's crap, it's that it doesn't yet have it seriously doesn't have the power, like it's not strong enough to reach what people would be satisfied with. Right? Cause with VR, you still feel like you're not... The idea behind VR is supposed to be like, you're there, and very rarely can you have certain experiences where you'll have a moment where you get lost in the sauce. But after a minute, you get straight taken out of it, and it's like, all right, I'm out of... I can't. At least to me. It would do that with me. I know it would. Because I might not own VR, but I've tried it once or twice at a buddy's, and it just, like... There's, like, this disconnect with me when it comes to stuff like that. I don't know how to explain it, but it just doesn't feel... It feels too gimmicky for me personally. Like, it's an interesting concept, don't get me wrong. Like I said, VR chat. VR chat seems to be, like, some of the best implementation of something like that. Well, I mean, they have a lot, like... They're having shit now that it's starting to get to the point to where I think it's going to be more more welcoming. Like, people are going to welcome it more in the future, but I don't think we're quite there yet. I think we have a little bit more time before VR is going to really come out swinging. Exact problem right there. That's the exact problem right there. It's so fucking heavy. Battle Crush. Interesting looking VR. I think that's what Battle Crush is supposed to be, but I'm not sure. I kind of just was skipping through, because what I had done is I opened up the YouTube live stream and paused it, stepped away, came back, and basically skipped through, because I really was not in... Like I said, I think I'm fighting something off, because I wasn't in the mood to hear anybody talk. And, like, they had so many fucking interviews with people, and it's like... Normally I love listening to that kind of stuff, but not yesterday, the other day, I was just like, I just want to see what games they're going to show. Like, that's it. And the most interesting thing that they showed was Bloomhouse is coming out with a gaming thing. Like, Crystal Theater of Idols, Crave Seasons, Sleep Awake, Fear the Spotlight, The Simulation, Project Call Horror, Project Call Horror, but of a different genre. And then, like everything that I said there, like Sleep Awake, Fear the Spotlight, The Simulation, and then Project Call, those are all different games of a different genre, but they're all horror-based games. That's why, because I wrote down basically like little point things to try and catch how I was feeling and stuff like that in the moment, and I was just trying to decipher my own writing, basically, as I read this. And I could tell that there was a lot of shit that I was just like meh about, just because of how short everything is. Like, I didn't go into explanation about it. But that is an interesting idea if you think about it, how movie companies are starting to delve their hand into gaming. Yeah, motion sick. There's a thing you can use. There's like an option you can use for the motion sick shit. But that makes it even more disjointed and takes me out of VR even more because of how like stutter steppy it looks. Oh, that's right, I got bone blocks. Why did I do that? I don't recall. They showed Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind, which was like a side-scrolling beat-em-up type game similar to Castle Crashers, if you're familiar with that game at all. Alright, Mr. B, any other Bs? Yes. Come, my bees. Both literally and metaphorically. Alright, wait a couple days for that to go through then. Dear and Boy reminds me... is that the name of the game? I guess that's the name of the game. Reminds me a little bit of Ori and the Blind Forest. It's a first-time developer, regardless. Also started as a single developer and now it expanded to 8 over time with that game. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 coming out later this year. It's made me tempted to potentially want to play Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 after I get all the DLC, but I'm not worried about it. Slitherhead, at first I thought it was Ghostwire, but it looks interesting. It looked similar to Ghostwire. Killer Bean, silly looking Grand Theft Auto-like game, honestly. Apparently it's a roguelike shooter. Another game that was developed by a single person. Apparently they are, or were, an animator on Matrix Reloaded. Cairn Grave? Which gave me vibes of Death Stranding. When the person was climbing on the side of the wall, or side of a mountain, or cliff, or whatever. And when I saw the movement, it kind of gave me that vibe. Obviously, it didn't give me vibes of it being similar to Death Stranding in the way of like it being somewhat of a thriller type game, I guess you could say. But it gave me that with how the movement was of like, alright, so it seems like you're going to be moving a lot. And I'm okay with that. I really enjoyed Death Stranding. I think I want to play through it again at some point, but I'm not sure when. Because it's a very chill game, and I kind of want to go through in like 100% at this time, which will take a long fucking time. Probably not as long as I feel, because the people have probably built so much infrastructure now. It probably would make the game very simplistic, in quotation marks when I say simplistic. I'm going along the wall because I don't really know what else to do right now, and I have a lot to go through with the Summer Games thing. Wanderstop. Not sure how to explain it, but it gave me vibes of like, it's a similar game to something like Stardew or Cult of the Lamb, I think. It's a Stanley Parable game, though. Like, it comes from the same people who made Stanley Parable. So there's going to be some sort of a twist, obviously. Then we have Unknown Awakening. The story seems interesting. Monster Hunter Stories. It's a very cartoony game. I'm not sure about its release or anything like that. Entoria, the last song, looks like a Souls-like, but couldn't tell you because of the fact there really was no gameplay. The First Descendant futuristic game looks pretty cool, coming July 2nd. Bunch of random games from, like, Duck Game developers, more Among Us shit, which was a show, Sonic X Shadow Generations, Dune Awakening Survival MMO, and that's pretty much where I stopped and started my stream, right? For that day. I haven't gone back and watched any more of it. I haven't gone back and watched any of Xbox Showcase, which more than likely what I think I'm going to do is I think I am going to go back and go through the Summer Games Fest, make sure I've watched all that, as well as go through and check out whatever else I need to check out. Oh shit, did I not do the left side? Well, shit. I didn't do the left side of the wall. That's kind of annoying. I know why I didn't do the left side of the wall. Because the right side I can just mirror it pretty much to a certain extent. Actually... yeah, that should be fine. But yeah, I just realized going through this wall now, there's more work I have to do, don't get me wrong. Like, I have to dig this down a little bit and fix the other side now that I realize that. I'm glad I did this, actually, because I would have totally forgot to fix the, like, to finish the wall. I think a game like this could be okay in VR, now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, okay, so we just got to do the left side. That's fine. And then I have an analysis of Star Wars Episode 10. Like I said, at minimal, I'll try to guarantee one episode I watch for the Star Wars thing. Because I really do like going through these analyses, or analysi, or whatever you want to say, of Star Wars. So much so that at some point I'm probably going to do, like... it's going to take a while, don't get me wrong. I expect me to be talking more, like... me talk about Star Wars for longer than I plan to play this game for. Like, I'll probably be on the next game for the OYTBTs before I finish with my Star Wars analysis, because we still have a shit ton of movies to do and a bunch more shows. Fun fact, apparently Star Wars Alkalite is something that occurs before Episode 1 of the movies. Not the original Episode 1, but yeah, I'm kind of excited. I've really been enjoying Star Wars lately. It's been a while since I've gone through and watched it. But yeah, as for the analysis for Episode 10, this one takes place directly after Episode 9, which has become more of a commonality, I feel. I feel like what they're doing now with Star Wars is the first couple of episodes were just like, hey, here's what's going on, here's kind of establishment of the characters. And then after that, they've kind of, like, there's some time skips here and there, but they're starting to follow a direct line, a direct storyline now. I want to wait until another bee comes out before. I don't think it's been long enough, actually. But I'll wait, another bee comes out, I'll come down and I'll see if it has. Because I want this plane to be filled with bees. Anyways, while we wait. Really quickly, let me alt-tab so I can scroll down and make sure I get as much, if not all of... Well, I know it does exist, that's why I was saying that, in all honesty. Okay, so, the storyline that we actually follow, doesn't follow Ahsoka and that other Jedi that was assisting Ahsoka, which I still have problems with Episode 9, how they basically had Ahsoka with a different Jedi Master and not her trainer, right? Like, Anakin's supposed to be training her, and the Council sees fit to separate them and stuff like that. And it just doesn't... Some of the stuff doesn't make sense, right? Anyways, the current Jedi that it follows, there's a conversation between this Jedi that I'm about to talk about and Ahsoka and the other Jedi, because they've broken off, and Kit Fisto, the Jedi Master that we're going to be following today, is the one that's been sent to go recapture Newt Gunroar, which, of course, they're not going to be able to succeed here. This Jedi meets up with his Padawan, can't remember the Padawan's name, and a small group of clones. They go into the door to arrest dude, and he's surrounded by droids. Of course, the droids get absolutely obliterated. but we get a look into some of the personalities and whatnot of the apprentice, as well as the clones and stuff like that. Turns out it was just a hologram, which is funny because if you really break it down, the way that Newt Gunroar sounds before and after the revelation of the hologram kind of aggravated me, because as soon as the chair is spun around or whatever, and you see it's a hologram, Newt Gunroar's voice changes, and I was like, why would they? I get why they did that, but why would they make it sound more robotic in this? Like it sounds like it's coming through a hologram. I kind of wish they kept it instead of changing it, right? Because it makes it kind of feel a little bit less like this is more of a personal issue of mine, because it makes it feel like they should have been able to tell that right from the rip, but whatever. Anyways, long story short, they're kind of a little bit lost in the area they're in, I guess you could say. Or they're going to try and search the area. I can't remember exactly what it was. Hold on, let me go through and reread my shit. Because today, I have no motivation to do much today except breed bees. Oh, also, I made a deduction about the Jedi Master Fisto. Kit Fisto is the Jedi's name, by the way. Anyways, there we are. Come on. Oh no, you're not grown yet. Where's the other bee? I need the other bee to come out. He had an R6 unit as well with his little transport ship or whatever it was, and I kind of laughed because I was like, I wonder if the R6 unit is actually a good R6 unit. Fuck. Thank you. There we go. Hey, look at that. We got 5 bees. Nice. Anyways, I made a comment because I'm like, I wonder if all the R6 units are working secretly for the Separatists, aka Sidious, or if it was just the one that they had corrupted. We don't get confirmation on that in this episode. Spoiler alert. They immediately go away to show the differences between the Master and the Padawan, where like the Padawan's eager to show off for their Master, right? Their training was complete outside of their Master's final tutelage because the war. They're very eager and very, very quick to go to destruction. But the Jedi Master there is like, patience and a second look will help. They kind of show that throughout the episode where the apprentice is eager to, like, prove themselves or eager to face combat and is a bit vicious, a bit violent, starting to go with, like, there's no restraint. Or there's less restraint. But we see that more later down the line. Quickly rereading this. Yeah, okay, there we go. So the whole thing was, it was basically a trap set up by, or not a trap, a test, if you will, set up by Dooku to see if Grievous is actually still worthy to be the head general of the army because of how many failures Grievous has had. So it's such a Sith thing to do, right? It's just a traditional Sith thing to do where Grievous has to prove themselves by getting rid of the problem or die. That's how they prove themselves, basically. And they do. They kill the most of the group, but that comes later. And they're always trying to capture, like, oh, we must capture Grievous. And it's like, listen, I think at a certain point, if you have an opportunity to, get rid of the problem, right? Mind you, it wouldn't really matter because obviously if Dooku and Sidious were willing to get rid of Grievous, they had to have someone else in mind as a replacement for the general. And it wouldn't really matter to them if the Jedi slew Grievous. But if there comes a point in the future where they capture somebody like Dooku or something like that, like they already had Gunroy, and they should have gotten rid of Gunroy. I don't know exactly what his death would have accomplished, probably nothing much, but this is why I know I wouldn't be a Jedi. If I had enemies like that, I would, like, they were slippery and they kept escaping, I think at a certain point it would go from capture to just kill. As I'm going through, don't get me wrong, I'm kind of putting to the back of my mind, it's kind of why the analysis is a bit jumbled. Because as I go running around, I'm not doing this mindlessly today. I'm actually cataloging certain things and really thinking about what I'm going to be doing to be finishing this. Mind you, this is a good sign what I'm doing here, because it's getting to the point where the last thing that I really truly need to do is the castle. And that's just resource gathering, which I can honestly start to do now that I think about it. I can start to do that right now. But yeah, they come very close to capturing Grievous. Now, mind you, Newt Gunroy, as a hologram, made a comment about them being able to capture somebody else. And it's like, that would... Okay, so they were unable to capture Newt Gunroy, but he's going to allow you guys to... Or not allow you, but try and influence you to go after Grievous. I would be red flags across the board. There would be red flags. You know what I mean? Also, I'm so curious as to why Grievous works with the Separatists. We also find out more about Grievous during this episode, which I was excited by. It's one of the reasons why I brought up what I just brought up. I kind of always love it when I get to see a character's origins and stuff like that. But yeah, it always frustrates. Like, the perfect example, in episode 1, the Jedi. I almost said Jedi Lord. The Jedi Master, basically the master of everything when it comes to the Jedi, Yoda, proceeded to let Ventress go. Yeah, no, exactly. Well, here's the thing. Yoda gave Ventress her fucking lightsabers back. He had Ventress dead to rights and was like, here, why don't you give up? Let me give you your lightsabers back. And of course she escapes. And then Ventress proceeds to come out, free Gunroy, and kill a bunch of clones. And she was able to have one of the elite guards betray their station and help them. And it's like, Yoda, if you killed Ventress right then and there, or were more forceful in capturing her, then this wouldn't be a fucking problem, you goddamn green idiot. Like, that pissed me off. Episode 1 is gonna stick with me for a while, of the Clone Wars, the animated series, in all honesty. Because Ventress, I remember Ventress being around for a long fucking time. I didn't remember that Yoda had her dead to rights and let her go. But you're right, with the amount of times they almost capture a Sith, I would be like, alright, just get rid of these bastards. And even orbital strikes, I wouldn't trust an orbital strike. If I was skilled with a saber, and honestly, I'd train a fuck ton. Constantly train, if I could. And I definitely would be, they would classify me as a Sith, I know that. I would not be a Jedi. I would be more akin to the Sith, but I don't like Sidious. I don't like Tyrannus. I don't like Grievous. But yeah, any death that Ventress does, I put on Yoda. Yoda had any death that Ventress causes, the blood is on Yoda's hands because he let her go like he did. Like, I still can't get over that. He gave her the fucking lightsabers back. No wonder why Tyrannus, Darth Tyrannus, aka Dooku, Count Dooku, his fucking Padawan, yeah, his Padawan, his apprentice, went to the dark side. Yoda's a failure as a fucking Jedi to me, because in my mind, if you're a Jedi Master and your Padawan goes to the dark side, you're a failure of a Jedi, because the whole idea is to help train and indoctrinate younger individuals into the way of the Jedi Order. The more I see about the Jedi, though, the more angry I become, and the more cemented I get that if I ever do write stories, there'll be stories that probably pertain to the fall of the Jedi. Just so aggravating. Also, when they surrounded Grievous, and they let Grievous get his lightsabers out. They have him point, and then they use their underbarrel, like, grappling guns to try and capture Grievous, but they cut his legs off, and still, it almost was like a fucking horror film with the way that he was scurrying around on his arms. But he still escapes. Basically because they let him escape. We also get to see more of how, like, the Padawan is personality-wise due to the fact that he got angry when Grievous threw a clone at him. And he was like, the clone's got in the way. But yeah, the clones had the opportunity to just start, I would, like, fucking rattle them, boys, and fucking rattle them. You know what I mean? They were so close, and Grievous didn't have his lightsabers out. If you're gonna perform an ambush, actually perform the fucking ambush. Don't come out of the fucking shadows and be like, we're going to arrest you, Grievous. Give up. And it's like, what are you doing? Cut off all of his fucking limbs like he's a goddamn necromorph from from Dead Space. I almost said Dark Souls. I'm gonna have to step away here for a moment. It feels like they made Grievous a jobber, though, in all honesty, because of how there's, like, no skill. I've noticed this about Star Wars in general. Anytime they have a lightsaber fight, there's always a beginning part where it feels like they're not doing the best of their abilities. Like, there's so many fanciful... How do I word this? Like, it's more for show. Like, it feels like when there's a Jedi battle between sabers, there's times where they're spinning around. Like, I rewatched the fight between Yoda and Dooku from the end of Episode 2 of the movie. The live-action movies. And every time I watch it, I see more and more parts where both Dooku and, well, primarily Yoda, though, like, Yoda fucking jumps past Dooku at one point. And it's like, put your lightsaber out and cut his fucking head off. But whatever. I know. It's got a lot of plot and storyline elements and stuff like that I'm not keeping in mind. But take away all that. Think about it in a realistic sense. Think about this as if this is what's actually happening in the world and there is no script to follow. Right? That's what I do anytime I watch a movie. Right? I try and pretend that the world that is being shown to me is the world that exists, regardless of what there is. So anytime the characters do something stupid, like, oh, I don't know, give a Sith apprentice their lightsabers back and then let them escape, I proceed to get angry, because that's what happened. Regardless of if it makes sense or not, that's what Yoda did. The fucking idiot. I'll be back momentarily.
True Stories from Huntington with Veronica and her banker, Roger.
Veronica, you were nervous about trying to get a home. Why is that?
Nobody likes to hear the word no. You know, one day I just said, okay, I'm gonna go talk to the banker.
How'd it go, Roger?
If there was a bump in the road, we hit it. But we navigated right through it. Veronica kept pushing.
Get more than money from your bank. Welcome to Huntington. Real people compensated for true stories. Loan subject to credit application and approval. Equal housing lender.
At Landmark Smokehouse, we turn every gathering into a memorable feast with our signature smoked meats and sides. Hosting a graduation party? Looking for the perfect watch party meal? Cut out the stress and choose Landmark Catering for your next big event. Call us at 216-230-4040 or click below to learn more and place your order today.
Calling all skilled plumbers in the Cleveland, Ohio area. Step into a world of opportunity and endless benefits with UA Local 55 Cleveland. Imagine being at the forefront of the industry, earning top-tier pay, and mastering your craft with our cutting-edge journeyman courses. That's not all. Safety is our priority, and we provide the best health plans in the business. Don't miss out on the chance to elevate your career. Visit plumbers55.com. That's plumbers55.com. UA Local 55, where plumbers thrive.
I'll probably come down a little bit after. Ugh. But yeah, it's a rant that you will see. I basically, over the past episodes, I will rant about certain things occasionally without end. But I've been saving quite a few things to bitch about until I finish or catch up with most, if not all, of Star Wars. For the shows and the movies and stuff like that, not the video games. Mind you, there's a part of me that also kind of does want to start watching the video games and stuff like that. I don't really have too much of a desire to play a lot of them, if I'm being honest. But I wouldn't be opposed to sitting back and watching a couple playthroughs of a different Star Wars game here and there. Recently, actually, one of the reasons why I kind of got into this was a multitude of, like, just wanting to rewatch the show, but also because of a lot of people talking about the Star Wars games and stuff like that. Specifically, this one that's coming out soon, the one from is it Ubisoft that's coming out with this one? I could be mistaken in who's coming out with this, but I basically have no faith. Hold on. Let me Google this really fast to make sure. Outlaws. Right? Yeah. Yeah, it is Ubisoft. Like, I have no faith that Ubisoft is actually going to come out with a game that isn't fucked up, let alone... And that's been proven right because of what they've done with Outlaws. How they've made it to where, oh, hey, you pre-order the game, and you could actually get all of it unlocked, or you unlock the real edition of the game where you get more missions and stuff like that, and it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you actually talking about? Are you trying to say that if I don't pre-order the game, or if I don't do this, I'm not going to be able to play the full fucking experience? Are you fucking high? And then, this is perfect, because they have content locked before the game comes out, and then you have Elden Ring's DLCs about to come out, and it's fucking gonna be massive, apparently. And it's like, motherfuckers are gonna have the audacity to charge $20 for a goddamn skin. It's aggravating. Let alone missions and shit like that. Skins are one thing. Like, cosmetics is one thing to me, right? Because sometimes you just want your character to look a certain way. I get it. It's understandable. But for fuck's sake, there's a difference between skins and actual content that you're preemptively locking behind a fucking paywall before the game even's come out. And that is one of the reasons why Ubisoft, unless I already own the Ubisoft game or they released it for free, and even then I doubt I'll actually play the fucking thing. Like, I don't want to support Ubisoft anymore. The new Assassin's Creed game, I don't care how good it is, I'm probably not going to pick it up. Like, I'm actually going to start looking into games that are from certain companies. Like, if a game's going to come out and I want to get it, I'll look what the company comes from, and if it's one of those companies, fuck it, I won't get it. There's millions of other games that I could play that have more respectable fucking situations going on. Despicable. It's fucking despicable. In all honesty. Oh, we want to make more money. Well, make a good fucking product then, you idiot. No, you have these companies that are making it to where, oh, if you want to play a game that's on the PlayStation, you're going to have to get a PlayStation for it or use a PlayStation account. And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So you want to make more money, but you're going to put all these fucking constraints down that are going to prevent you from making as much money as you would normally make. If you just released the fucking game on PC, you'd make a fuck ton more money! Hello? McFly, is anybody home? Fucking idiots, man. It's fucking amazing that people that are so goddamn stupid are given so much fucking power. It boggles my goddamn mind. Oh, we're gonna make this person the CEO. Well, this person's literally gonna ruin your company. Nah, it'll be fine. And then when people would say, this is what's wrong, the fucking people who are in charge go, nah, you're wrong. You don't know what you want. We're playing the fucking game, dipshit! You're not! How do we fucking know how do we not know what we want when we're playing the game and you've never even fucking touched it? You absolute fucking moron. Anyway. But yeah, this is like, I've noticed a lot of shit about the way they have Star Wars fight, like lightsaber battles and shit like that, and it's like, there seems to be so much flair and not a lot of substance, right? Like, there's been quite a few occasions where a character has flipped over another character to come out victorious, and it's like, you see they're spinning around, and what you do is you turn around without swinging your weapon and do this with surprise on your face, and then you get a lightsaber to the chest, and it's like,
Okay, true stories from Huntington with Veronica and her
like, what are you doing?
Veronica,
Swing your sword! For fuck's sake.
Nobody likes to hear the word no. You know, one day I just said, okay, I'm gonna go talk to the banker.
how'd it go, Roger?
If there was a bump in the road,
Again, I'm bringing it up because I've watched a couple of, I've actually starting to, like,
navigate it right through it.
go through and rewatch some of the battles and just study the battles. And it's like, the fights are so fucking inefficient. Like, there's so much that they don't do. Rarely, if ever, do they actually use the Force in conjecture with a lightsaber battle. It's like one or the other for them. And it's like, for me, I'd be like fucking flinging lightning and my sword, and I'd be fucking a blender of death, doom, and destruction. No wonder why Darth Vader was so fucking scary, because he stopped doing the flare. He started going for substance, and no wonder why he killed so many fucking Jedi. Because they all were like, oh, I'm gonna spin around, and I just cut your head off. What the fuck, dumbass? long story short, as Grievous is about to get captured, he escapes, of course, takes out a couple of... Basically, all the clones that went with him, which I think 6 clones in total, end up dead, some more horrendous than others. Grievous releases some sort of creature upon them that the commander of the clones who survived alongside the 2 Jedi were able to kill, but the last clone was slain. And then the apprentice, who had blamed the clones for getting in the way, then went on to promise that he would make Grievous pay for this, which made me kind of chuckle, because it was like 2 seconds ago, you were blaming the clones for getting in the way. Now, you're sad and angry that they're dead. Of course, the Master was like, vengeance is not the way of the Jedi. And then the apprentice talks about how things have changed. And in all honesty, it wasn't the fact that the apprentice was... The apprentice was stupid. I'll say that much. He was so apt. He's like, I could take Grievous on by myself. And it's like, why not? Like, the Master and the apprentice argued where the Master told the apprentice to go into the control room and basically destroy shit and fuck it up. But they argued over it, and it's like, why not fight Grievous together? But no. Oh, we were introduced to a Doctor Droid. I fucking love the Doctor Droid. They were sassing Grievous, talking about how they had better things to do with their time instead of repair your legs again, basically. Like, shit like that. I love that. And then Master Fisto was able to kill the droid, unfortunately. But the droid trapped them because it activated the button and put a door between the apprentice and the Master. And again, you have a fucking lightsaber. Cut the door off its hinges. Hello? But no, the Master went to kill the droid and then bear witness to the death of his apprentice, which I called from a mile away, because when they were separated, the apprentice went after Grievous, took out the rest of the droids, and then while he was in the middle of a lightsaber battle, did something that I complained about nobody else doing, and utilized a blaster to fucking rattle him. The Master fucks up the control room and then calls in R6, which he had escaped. Long story short, another battle, and he escapes. And then Grievous gives his report to Tyrannus, aka Dooku, about how he succeeded and defeated them, but one escaped. And then Dooku was like, good, but room for improvement. And it's like, dude, the last time you fought against a Master and Apprentice, you only cut one of the hands off of the Apprentice and was forced to turn tail and run away because Yoda came down. And mind you, Yoda probably could have killed you a couple of different ways. Because again, like he jumped, the way that he jumped around like that, it was like, why aren't you swinging your blade? I have a lot of frustrations because of how they do the choreography of the fights. And a lot of times it feels like it's so inefficient with the fights. Like, it's watching that shit, more so than watching anything else, has inspired me to want to make a story. I don't even know what it would be. It could be a time travel, but that seems like it's overdone. Maybe I'll throw in a new character. Maybe I'll throw in a new Sith. Fuck it. A new Sith that was raised in secrecy to usurp the Order of Bane. Because are there different orders of Sith? I don't know. Anyways, it'll be a hidden order. Fuck it. Because I always disliked the idea of the rule of 2, in all honesty. Oh, I fell. I was like, what? I'm not moving toward the left like I should be. Because the idea of the Order of the 2 is like, it's what Palpatine does. Palpatine betrays his master, or Sidious betrays his master, Plagius, and kills him, right? Only, like, the way that it's done is not in the way that it should have been done. It should have been done in a way to where they were fighting with all of their abilities, but no, Pelagius was killed in a cowardly way by Sidious. Which is what Sidious is, a coward. Just look at who built the Empire. It wasn't Sidious that built the Empire. Yeah, he had a lot of string pulling that he did as Supreme Chancellor and stuff like that. But it was Vader, really, that not only helped build the Empire, but keep it as an empire by going out on and slaying anybody who would dare threaten it. Palpatine wasn't out on the fucking fields fighting for the Empire. Vader was. Where the hell did I put the glow dust? That is a potato. Is there anything else? Excuse me. Oh. Anyways, the final act, or whatever, the final part of this episode has Master Fisto returning to the council to give a report to Master Windu and Yoda. And after giving the report, Yoda makes some sort of a comment about people risk losing themselves during the war. And I kind of got pissed because of the way that it was worded. Maybe that's not what exactly was the air that it was supposed to give off, but the feeling that it gave off was that Yoda was like, oh, it's not really that big of a deal that your apprentice died because they kind of went against the Jedi Order. Like strength for strength or whatever isn't our way or whatever the fuck Yoda said, and it pissed me off so much. Because he said something else too, and it was like, yeah, you're the one who... there's so much blood on Yoda's hands. Glow dust, which that is hilarious that you say that. Glow dust allows you to build a glow block. It's for lighting. Or use it to build, like, different types of redstone things, if I'm not mistaken. In all honesty, that's pretty much all I have for the analysis of episode 10. Like, there really wasn't much to go off of. A couple of the clones got killed in a brutal way. One of them fell into a foundry type thing and died to liquid hot magma. Got melted. That sucked. Another two got blown up by the robots when they went inside of the ship to report back to whoever they needed to report back to for reinforcements, which they did not go with any sort of urgency at all. Primarily because they didn't know, I don't think. I don't think they knew what the hell was going on, so they just casually walked back into the ship and got blown up. No, the other ones, I think, perished to Grievous. Because the only one who was able to escape was Master Fisto on his vessel that he arrived on separately from his apprentice, because his apprentice was taken away, basically, because of the war. I still sit back and I realize, like, as I think about it, there are so many instances in which certain things could have been prevented, but blindly following the order, like Obi-Wan had done, was the worst thing that could have happened. Honestly, it's Qui-Gon would have been the best master for indoctrinating Anakin into the order. But he was given to the worst person. But yeah, it's getting to the point where I'm. It's hard to put into words how unsurprising it is how incompetent so many individuals are in the Star Wars universe. Like, truly. I have a couple mods. I have Aquacraft, a mod that allows me to have a mini map and put down waypoints and stuff like that, basically. And I have one for guns, but I can't remember how to craft the thing that I need to use. Hold up. I might not have active. Oh, here it is. Workbench. Light gray concrete. I need to make that workbench if I want to make guns again, but I'm not concerned with it yet, or right now. But yeah, like I said, it was probably going to be a short one today. We're still going to go for a little bit longer. But I'm probably going to be wrapping up in a little bit here for today. I'm tired. And just wanting to lay down and just relax. But it's getting to the point where soon I'll be able to hold a conversation with some of the most adept lore holders of the Star Wars lore. Hey, listen. The only place I like guns at is in video games. I despise firearms, IRL. And yes, I do own a couple firearms. Well, it's not that I despise firearms. I despise people's enjoyment and the ease of access of firearms is what I despise. It's aggravating. But that doesn't stop me from appreciating weapons in general, not just firearms, right? A lot of people might make the joke that I like, oh, guns. Yeah, I modded guns into the game. But there was also parts of me that the reason I modded that is because I was pissed off at the invaders. And I'm glad I had that because I got invaded once when I accidentally killed a flag bearer and didn't realize that it would start a raid because technically I'm in the presence of a village here, a village over here, there's a village over there, there's a village over there, and a village over there, technically, with the way that I built this. Basically, I tried to build this as if it was one village, but large, and it's pretty much broken down into multiple separate villages, technically. And I've tested that out. There's like an area of influence they each have, because it didn't activate the raid until I was at a certain point. At least from my perspective. Maybe I'm wrong. Regardless. Is there anything else that... I mean... Secretly desires. Secretly desires? Now, mind you, I did this for a reason, right? I've actually painted it a little bit. It doesn't look right, but yeah, secretly desires. I have a sword. I own a sword. I'm doing this as an experiment, try and see if I can get rid of some of the rust and stuff like that. Because I painted over it, now I'm going to. That was a couple days ago, and I started to clean it up, but I stopped. I got distracted and just haven't been in the mood to try and finish it. I'm gonna finish cleaning it up probably this week, and see if it's done anything to some of the rust spots. I doubt it, but I'm experimenting. What I actually utilized to paint that was the paint that you normally utilize for detailing cars. But yeah, I don't have a secret desire to own a sword, because I own a sword. I also have a bunch of different knives that I own as well. And like I said, a couple different guns.
Visit Vanguard.com/fixedincome today. Important information. All investing is subject to risk, including the possible loss of the money you invest.
But yeah, as you can kind of tell, I don't really have much else to talk about. Like, I could continue to bitch about Star Wars, but it's a lot of the stuff that I've already been over, and I kind of want to save repeating myself for the final rant. Yeah, I'm heading off myself, too. It's not... normally I go for another 4 hours, at least. But today I've only gone for like an hour and 20. I'm just out of it today. Anyways, really quickly before I wrap up. Friday, Saturday, I plan on continuing the Elden Ring playthrough. We'll probably be fighting Radon Saturday at... or maybe not Saturday. We'll be getting to Caelid Friday, and then we'll be going through Caelid probably Friday and Saturday total. And then Sunday, we're going to take a small pause from Elden Ring to do this month's sponsorship stream from Stream Elements. Not sure what game it's going to be yet that I'm going to play, but we'll figure that out. The secondary game will more than likely be Lost Light, unless I feel like playing something else like Enlisted or War Thunder or something like that. And we'll probably have at least episode 11, maybe also episode 12 of Star Wars The Clone Wars, the animated series, for an analysis breakdown. And at some point in the far future, when I do get done with Star Wars, I plan on having a Monday where I'm not going to be playing a game. Honestly, it's probably going to be just chatting. Like, the scene that it'll be, more than likely, when I do my final, like, I'm going to call it a rant, honestly. But it's going to be my final rant of Star Wars after I get through all the movies and shows and whatnot I want to get through. And it's pretty much just going to be me in just chatting mode while music is playing. And I'm looking up stuff over here or writing, or I'm looking at my thing over here on my second monitor. Well, this is in the background, my screensaver that changes over time. Anyways, normally the stream does go longer, like I said, but today I'm just out of it today. So, hopefully, we'll have longer streams on Friday, Saturday, what have you. But regardless, that's going to be it for me, for you, YouTube, Twitch. I do hope you enjoyed your stay here. If you have and are new here and haven't already, be sure to become a citizen today via subscribing to this channel as well as my main. If you're watching on YouTube, links will be down in the description below. There are all my links, exclamation point links like so, for those that are watching on Twitch. If you are watching on Twitch, be sure to follow me. Catch me when I go live at 6 p.m. EST EDT for Friday through Monday. Invite link to the community Discord, where you can always get the most accurate notification of whenever I do go live. If I'm going to be a little bit late or early to a stream outside of a half hour, or as long as I know I'm going to be late. As well as whatever else catches your fancy through all my links. Yeah, that's going to be it for me. Till next time, take care and have yourselves a good one.